The next type of factoring that we're going to look at is the AC method, and this is used for factoring trinomials where you do have a coefficient in front of the x squared. So we can't use fast factoring when we have a coefficient in front of the x squared. So we have to use the AC method. And our goal is to break up the middle term into two terms and then factor by grouping. So we do this by finding two numbers, and these two numbers, this is very much the same as the fast factoring. So the two numbers must multiply together to equal AC. So not C this time, but AC. And that's really where the AC method gets its name. And the two numbers must add together to equal B. So you'll see on number 3 that I've already made the chart. So AC is your A times your C. So I'm getting that from the A and the C. So 2 times 7 is 14, and B is 9. So you're trying to find two numbers that multiply together to give you 14, but add together to give you positive 9. So in the first column, these are all the pairs of numbers that multiply together to give us positive 14. But only one of those pairs will add up to be positive 9. And that is 2 and 7. So that really tells us how we want to break up the middle term. So this 9x, we are going to break it up into 2x and 7x. So we have not changed the value of this equation, because if we wanted to, we could just recombine the 2x and the 7x to get back to 9x. We've just changed the form of the equation because we want to do factor by grouping. So in factor by grouping, we are looking at the first two terms and taking out the GCF, and that would be a 2x, which would leave behind an x plus 1. Then I want to look at the second two terms and take the GCF out of the second two terms, and that would be 7, which would also leave behind an x plus 1. Next, we want to factor out the x plus 1 out of these two terms. So I'm going to write x plus 1, and that's going to leave behind the 2x and the plus 7. So that step can kind of be confusing. So a lot of times people like to remember that whatever's in your parentheses becomes one of your factors, and whatever's outside of parentheses becomes your other factor. So now I want to set both factors equal to 0 and then solve. So x is equal to -1, and x is equal to -7 over 2.